All right, today we'll be talking about interacting with database on our Express application, right? So what I will do is I'm going to create a new folder here, which is going to be pool. So these are directory for for section for the section of this course. This is the pool. These are directory for the project, right? So I'm going to create an index.mjs or app.mjs, anyone. So right now I'm going to say import express express. So I'm actually calling express, then constant assign. So I'm assigning express. I'm initializing express and I'm assigning it to app. Then constant port equals to 4000. Then app.listing port, right? So I can put my app.get the route, right? So this part um, requests um, where the rest that send hi. So let's start off. So npm init dash y good. So we can say mp. So this is my database, right? So I've created a table, which is this. So the table has an ID, name, position. So these are arranged. So I want to look through this, right? I want to look through it. I want to look through my database with my code inside my application, right? So instead of saying res.send, I can comment it and say I want this one to async uh, promise. So constant result equal to await pool dot query. Then while do select all from what's the table name? Teachers. So now let me res dot send result dot rows. How many rows are there? So all the rows in the table. Let me res dot send it. So if I go to my localhost instead of hi, let's see. Okay, I have not started the app. Do you see I have it through my application? I am seeing it on my browser, right? So I can still make use of it. I can say the row select all from teachers where ID is equal to. So this is a sign of saying specifying the first or an index. This is a sign of specifying an index. So instead of saying and writing where I is equals to 1, this is a string and this is a number, right? And inside here is a string, so it's not going to work. So they made it possible that you can do 1. So even if I want to add another thing, I have to do another value that I need outside, right? I'll add it 2. So if it was 2 values, 2 more right? There are some cases that will use like two values. So for now, we're using one, right? So after this, we'll put a comma and a square bracket. Then inside it, we are going to put the value of that $1. So what's the value of that $1? We are selecting um, all from teachers where the ID is, let's select 3, where ID is 3, right? So now let's check it out where ID is 3. You see, we have selected the one that the ID is 3, right? So we have selected it. We can also say selected where ID is 3, and as it's selected, we can now say rows dot, sorry, rows dot result of rows. So we have printed the result of rows, right? This is the result of rows. We can also say rows and say what's inside the rows, the array. It's an object, right? So an object, what is the? It's an ID. So we can either print the name. So we can say dot name and we refresh. I'm coming. Hold on. Let me see. Okay. So is it is an object that is inside, right? And the object is the first index 0, sorry. So index 0, and index 0 is going to print that only that one, index 0, right? So now from index 0, I want to tap the one with the ID, and index 0, I'm tapping the object now. Is the object I'm tapping, but I want to tap the ID or the name. Let's tap the name. So say index 0 dot name, right? So you see we have tapped into the name from our database, right? We can also do like this and say name and put it as constant name equals to refresh, right? We can also use position vice principal, right? So that's how you communicate with your database. So you can also use this query to insert something into your database, right? So inserting something into our database, I will also do it now. So let's take this as let me just comment this instead. So I want to insert something. I can say constant wait pull dot query insert into teachers name position values. What's the values? We'll now put $1. I told you, then $2, because we cannot put those values that we want inside. So we have to use the dollar, right? You understand? We have to use the dollar. So because there are two values, name and position, that's why we're using $1 and $2. So after this, we'll now put a comma and then a square bracket. They will put the value. So what are the values we want to put inside there? For example, we can say a new teacher, which will be Mr. Matthew, right? Comma. Then the next one will now be head of sports. We have to comment this because we're not displaying, we don't want to display anything, right? So I will pull the query, insert into teacher's name values. So insert into this, right? So let's go and run our code. Implement. Oh, there's a mistake. Where's the send name? So it's not supposed to. Let's check if it did something from here. You see, it did, but it made an error, but it still worked. It tapped with our database. You see, right? So you see that this Mr. Matthew has been added from our application.